Okay, go ahead. I'm recording.
Okay.
So go ahead and tell everybody your story as far as what's going on right now.
Well, basically, I'm charged with a couple misdemeanors, and I had appeared in court for a hearing on my motions, and it's pretty apparent that the prosecution and the judge are definitely starting to work together on this case in trying to shut me down. This is actually a case that shouldn't be going to trial at all. It should have already been dismissed at this point, and because the case is quite old. So anyhow, we ended up with your help, we ended up filing a motion for having the judge disqualified, and it was just really surprising. Typically, with this judge, whenever I file off any motions with him at all, he'll kind of turn red in the face and likes to glare down at me, kind of like he's, like he's pissed off at me or something, more kind of like an intimidation type factor,
Yeah.
which is not the first time I've seen judges do this, but that's kind of, the demeanors this guy's ended up taking. And the thing that was really funny about this time was actually really fun, actually, is he got this motion, he thought he knew what it was, and he read through it, and instead of turning red this time, he turned white as a sheet and started to shake and tremble. And now he's at a point he's got to go through and get another judge as far as that ends up going to get in on the case, and for him to even kind of figure out what he's going to do at this point. So it's just kind of fun to see it that they have to be accountable to law too.
And originally, he was gonna handle it that day, or what was he planning on doing with the motion before he turned white?
He was going to do what? I didn't hear that.
I said initially he was gonna handle it the same day before he understood what kind of motion it was.
Yeah, he was going to handle it. He was going to handle it right away. He was kind of cocky and arrogant about the whole thing. It was pretty funny. He goes, we can do this right away. And then after he let me file it and he was reading through everything, it was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we can't. This one's it was like hot potato at that point in time. It's like, what did I just do to myself? The judge, not myself, but the judge, it seemed that was what he was thinking. What did I just do to myself here? That's why I think he turned white as a sheet and started shaking. I've never seen that reaction of a judge ever before.
And what about the DA? How did the DA help out the judge? Once he figured out the judge was in a bind.
How did he help the judge out because he was in a bind?
Yeah. Like, I mean, did he end up changing the date?
Well, he wanted to first they wanted to take care of it that day, then they were deciding, we're really busy, or we want to go home tonight because it's getting too late. And they wanted to put it off to the next day, and there's a couple things the prosecution was trying to give suggestions to the judge, and the judge was going, I can't do this, I can't do that. And he goes, I have to get another judge in on this. And, then we're trying to end up putting it off that they were going to try to put it off the very next day. I told them, hey, I'm not available. I can't end up doing that, so let's do it the following week. Because normally they don't do that. Normally they at least put me out a week. And this one they were kind of wanting to handle it immediately, and then they started changing their mind on that and kind of putting it off on me as far as coming up with a new date, which we did end up coming up with, which it's a ways off now.
Yeah. So basically that judge is going to be on vacation with this case in mind, I'm pretty sure.
I'm really curious to see how the outcome on this one's going to end up being. I don't know yet, but yeah, that'd be kind of interesting.
So, but the main thing of this video, the point of this video that we both wanted to share with everybody is that whenever something corrupt is going on, it's usually in a small circle. So what a motion to disqualify will do is now it makes the circle wider, and now they have to bring in another judge in on it, so either he can be crooked or she can be crooked as well, or usually they'll say, well, this case should have already been dismissed and hopefully we get a better judge. That's the whole point of this video, that judges are not above the law. And so I want to thank you, man. I really appreciate you making this video, at least right now, because it's still kind of early, but just wanted to share this with everybody.
I can't wait to hear what the outcome is, and actually, I really thank you. You've been a tremendous help and huge support, and definitely, you're definitely very thorough, more thorough than I've ever had of anybody else I've ever ended up having to deal with as far as that goes.
Thanks.
Definitely will never use an attorney's services, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever had a bad experience with an attorney that you paid and in the end screwed you over?
Yeah, I had one that I was actually, it was a case, this was pretty funny. It was a case I was representing myself, and I just didn't have enough experience back then. And, and I understand the fear and intimidation that people could end up going through, because that's what happened with me. And I fell for a lot of these manipulative tactics they're trying now. But the thing is, they're really hollow. That's what I really ended up finding. And like, once again, I say, they're not above the law. Back then, I used to believe that. I think a lot of the public, that's what they really end up believing. They don't understand the powers that you have by doing the research and, finding out what the law is. I mean, they're duping us on our ignorance is what they're doing. So in my ignorance back then, I hired an attorney, and it was pathetic. The guy had a flat rate fee that he was going to give me. Then he tried overbilling me afterwards. But the thing that pissed me off the most was I ended up firing him and hiring a second attorney. Now, the second attorney I got, he actually did really good services for me. Wasn't cheap, but he didn't. He did what he said he was going to do, and he held up to his word. The guy was actually pretty honorable, which I was impressed on. But one of the first things I started learning back then was he says, "Hey, there's all these motions that are in your file," and he goes, "Did your other attorney file motions?" I said, "No, my attorney didn't file any motions." And then he started to take a look at it. He goes, "What is this stuff?" And I said, "Well, that's all stuff I did myself, because it was types of motions that he'd never seen before." And first thing he said, because I needed to get my money back, because this guy didn't do any motions. He showed up to court for me like 6 different times, and actually sometimes he didn't even show up. I was in there by myself a lot of times. And when I got the bill and he showed me what all his hourly services, it was ridiculous. I'm like, great, you just showed up here to hold my hand? To end up saying, well, yeah, no, I'm not guilty, and hey, can we put this off? I mean, it was really bogus, the whole deal.
Yeah.
In the end, I won.
Yeah.
I did beat the case. It was 12 jurors unanimously not guilty.
Yeah.
But, it was a learning process, to say the least.
Well, hopefully that'll convince others to be careful, at least when selecting an attorney if they decide to get one. But yeah, man.
Yeah, there are some good ones that are out there, but they're kind of few and far between. I'd say there's more bad ones than good ones.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same with all public officials.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thanks for making the video with me, man. I'm gonna stop recording now, okay?